Hello, everyone. My name is Miki. I'm 23 years old and I study at university. So, firstly, I got close to this composting thing during COVID. That time, I had fortunate situation that during the first phase of the COVID, with my girlfriend, we were in an apartment in the countryside. There was like a big garden, and we decided to just not to throw away vegetables and stuff. And just, I was just, digging a hole and put everything in it. And it was really nice because after like 1 month when we left, little flowers were all around the hole. So it was really a good example how like compost can stimulate the nature and growing. And we got back to the city and it became like a habit to just put those stuff to our compost, and it was a problem in the city. And my girlfriend, she started to organize community compost, and I was following that process, and it was like a community project. People built it together, but we were living near to the park. It's like a temporary thing. And when we were living, it was really hard to find always the new community compost. And when we moved together, we decided that okay, we'll try this because sometimes we felt that we are just lazy to go down to the community compost, and sometimes we had like really busy weeks, and then it was really messy and smelly. So it was like a good opportunity to like change this smelliness and laziness, because we were still lazy, but we just had to move to the kitchen to like put the stuff there.
So lazy, but without smelliness, with the scent of the forest.
Absolutely.
Great. You were having like everything, like from garden composting, community composting, and then indoor composting. That's a great journey. And what do you think about COMPOT composting? I think you use it for half year already, no?
Yeah, I have a new one. So it's really interesting because I did not see the harvesting before that. So I don't have like Hamas, the reward, but I started again. Obviously, it's not the most important thing for me, but it looks really nice. It's not like something that does not belong to a room. It's really easy to use. Firstly, I was a bit scared about those little bugs, but I started to use this neem oil and we had no problems with flies. And it was really interesting to see that this was this high and then it's just became lower. And it's always like, I don't know, when you're an adult, you don't necessarily meet with this kind of magical things as a kid that, oh my God, it's just moving down. And I really like to like mix it together. So it becomes just a habit, and it's just really easy. And I'm really looking forward to see the reward. But I saw like the previous composite was working for like 3 or 4 months, and I saw the results. I just wasn't there during harvesting.
I totally agree with you. I'm also amazed by nature's magic, like, and also observing, because in our world, it's like when you are adult, it's like you don't learn this one, or we are forgetting to acknowledge this knowledge of like nature and nature processes. And it's really interesting because a lot of people are not starting composting because they think that there is not enough space in it. And then I
Mhm.
try to explain that it will shrink like 40-60% of it. It will lose the water parts of the biowaste. And it's really hard to imagine for people. So you have to start like to know like how is it working. So it's great that you said.
I have just one thing connected to this nature magic, that it's really interesting when we were doing like community composting. Little kids are always like watching the compost and wow, that's so amazing, and there are like bugs and just seeing those leftovers. So children are amazed by seeing just the compost, and another generations or old people. I have some friends whose grandmother used to working in the fields, and composting for them, it's a really obvious thing. So it's not like some new technology. I mean, compost is kind of new, but composting is just absolutely natural thing.
I believe nothing is new, so it's just working as it's mimicking nature. And I believe in this one that like we have to relearn this way of living. Like for me also, this is much more mindful in a way that like I'm just reusing my food waste in a way and I'm giving it a time for it. So I'm really appreciating that it takes some time and then I have my harvest. So it's not just a one button that you push and then there will come out something. Every time it's like easier with kids in explanation. That's true. But anyway, I'm also learned this city composting when I was adult. So I believe in other people also. I mean, you were speaking about started composting with your girlfriend before, but can you give something else? Like how did it affect your life?
I would say yes. It's actually last week I had like a party, so just meeting with a few people. I mean, the compost is like an object in a room which needs some explanation. What's that?
The starter.
Yeah, it was an icebreaker in some sense. So it's really nice to just explain. And some people who are really just connection with nature, and it's similar with me in an average day. But you can just see some kind of dirt and and some kind of leftover vegetables, and it's like get in touch with with nature again. It's really nice, and it's really nice to talk about it with others. And at the same time, I feel that in a city and in a flat, let's say, you try to organize your room and tidy. Sometimes, how to say that, we don't really like dirt and mess and those things. And when we are talking about nature, those things are there. So if there's some little smelliness, it reminds me that, okay, in a normal natural environment, there are smells, not like this kind of absolute sanitized environment. So in that sense, it's like a little nature inside it, and it's really nice to see. And it's not smelly in a bad way. So it's not like bothering us, but it has like a new kind of, it's like an object, but a living object in a room.
That's great. Totally in myself also what you say. So that's great that you were sharing. We were having like more a philosophical interview, which I really, really like. So thank you for sharing your thoughts and see you soon. And I hope you will have a happy harvesting time.